What do you tell the mother? What do you tell the mother whose daughter is really, really dressing close to Adam and Chava before the tree? And, you know, her grandmother comes in, or her aunt comes into the house.
Gewaltig.
You know, it's Purim, it's Erev Purim, it's a Sheva Brachas, it's a Vachmach. You know, that grandmother produced 14 kids. There's 300 Eineklach.
Each one's a Rosh
every other night.
Each one's a Rosh Hashiva.
Yeah, or a founder of Hatzalah.
They all founded Hatzalah.
Yeah, all of them. And it's just that shame. Or the husband's Rosh Hashiva walks into the house or walks into shul or comes into the chasen, and the father feels like averting his gaze from his son. Emotionally, this is not my child. For that moment, there's so much shame for the father or the mother in front of personalities who they respect, who they grew up with, who they look up to, and who are going to judge them, or at least they think they're going to judge them. What would you tell them emotionally?
So I'll tell you what we did. One of our chasnas, a daughter of ours, she had been struggling for a long, long time. She's the one who's not from presently, and probably closer to us than any of our children. Probably the closest, right? The youngest. When she got married, she was married, she's been divorced. She's married and divorced. When she got married, up until then, she was very much not with the program and close to Chava before the Chet, on many occasions. She's the one that we loved it when she came to the Shabbos meal in a unicorn onesie, because everything got covered. It was the best thing out. It was great. Her best friend prior to getting married was a guy, a homosexual guy, who worked in the local Wawa in Jackson. Am I correct? Saying it right? I don't usually get these things right, but I'm saying it right. Her best friend was a homosexual guy, which we were kind of happy about, because, for obvious reasons. This was like, Ein Ra Yored Min HaShamayim, thank you Hashem. On one occasion, she actually bugged out so badly one Erev Shabbos that she said, that's it, I'm going to him for Shabbos. I'm not sure what that means. I'm going to him for Shabbos, whatever it means. And my wife and I, packed up a whole Shabbos, a Kedem bottle of grape juice, a becher. We gave her some kugel, some food. Do you remember we packed it all up, said, you need food for Shabbos? We sent her off for Shabbos to the homosexual boyfriend. Imagine the hype of the Shabbos they must have had. But she came back Motzi Shabbos, everything was good. We even put a bench in there, showed her where Kiddush was. Am I exaggerating? I said, we put that bench here. Okay. Poetic license. Kitza, at her wedding, the Nidden came up. I have a lot of very nice frum friends who come to our weddings. And I must tell you, in those days, we weren't so open, I don't think, with everyone about what we were going through. But the Nidden came up for my wife and I. What do we do with the homosexual boyfriend? What was his name? I forget his name. Good gesunter guy. And then it was, what do we do with him? All our friends were upon him. I was like connected person. People came. Chaverim, Yedidim. And so we decided, I guess, all her girlfriends knew him. They knew him. He was part of the Chevra. So we invited him, because I told her, you're getting married. It's like a Sudas Preda. You can't have a boyfriend and a husband. So you're going to say goodbye, and he should understand that. So we invited him to the wedding, and we sat him on the ladies' side with the girlfriends. But Bekitza, we invited Dylan. It was a Sudas Preda. It was her best friend. And I don't think she ever spoke to him again. I think that was it. I think that was the end. Maybe once or twice, and that was it. But it wasn't like the long-lasting zach. What stops us with this is obvious. is we're just so darn embarrassed. That's what stops us. Because I'm guessing that everyone in this room, now you're sort of introduced to Christ's chinuch, you understand that what we did was the right move. But to do it, that you have to overcome your ego. That you have to understand you're doing God's work. She is closer to us, as close, Mary, am I right or wrong, as any of our kids. Closest. Every day she wakes up every morning. First thing she does in bed is Zoom or WhatsApp video call my wife, where she's lying in bed or has her coffee. I come up, they're schmoozing every day. They're close like anything. And that was our job. Our job was to keep her close. But we have to overcome that and realize your priority, our God-given priority is our children. We gave birth to them, and we owe them unconditional love, even at the expense of being embarrassed in front of, and I can't tell you, although I don't remember being embarrassed. What? Yeah, no, I don't. That story with her, I don't remember being embarrassed. I remember my ears nearly bursting my eardrums, where at the end of the chasna, they went into some loud rock thing. The chasna turned into some rock concert at the end. And it was like, whoa. No one warned me to bring earplugs. I needed that. But our commitment is our kids. Not the neighbors, not the grandmother, not everyone else. We shouldn't be achzarious to them. When they say to us the classic time-honored line, the famous, this in the Hall of Fame of bad lines to say, this is the one most abused. How could you let her do that? How could you let her? As if any of us had any control or power not to, without being a mazik, without destroying her life. We don't let. We live with them in the hope we can repair their attachments, and over years and decades, they will stay with us, return to us, live a life, a meaningful life, by us repairing our attachments with them. And I have to tell you, if it comes to my worry about the Rosh Hashiva walking in or the grandmother, I'm happy to sit down and have a conversation with them later. I'm not mean. I don't ignore them. I offer them a conversation, but just not now. Just not now. Because my priority is my child.
So you feel when the father emotionally disassociates even for 5 minutes from his child because he wants to fit into the Haredi ambiance, he's sacrificing his child on the altar of his ego.
Oh, that is beautifully put.
So
that, Avi Fishoff will be sending that around. In fact, you probably received it already. Your phone's going?
Probably sent it already. Well, he usually sends 2 in the morning. Is it
That's
2 in the
true.
morning? It's so
Oh, my phone. I think you did. Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Is there, somebody says, is there other room, your sister's making a wedding, and your son is going to show up maybe without a yarmulke or maybe in a bathing suit? Your daughter is going to show up, however she's going to show up. Is there room to say, the cover the chasana, the cover the simcha, Zaidi going to be this, maybe put on a yarmulke, tie the tzaddik kol malach elakim.
It's a good thing I didn't have lunch or I'd throw up.
Okay.
There is no room. Our loyalty is to our child. And if your sister or sister-in-law calls you or your brother, Epis, I don't want to I hope you won't be, belated, but, because of Bobby, it's because of Bobby, right? If she could just come.
Bobby has borderline personality. That's besides the point.
Your answer is, I totally understand, and we'll miss you, and we wish you Mazel Tov. But we won't be there.
Wow. So the parents themselves should not show up.
Absolutely not. And you tell them gently, I understand. You can't handle it. I got it. It's embarrassing for you. But we won't be there.
Because you want to show your child that they come first.
Absolutely, yes. And I'll tell you something else. I asked the Shaila to Rabbanim many times because I told this to people I was working with, and then suddenly someone invokes the time-honored Kibbud of V'aim clause and lets you know that you're over on Kibbud of V'aim because you have to come. And Bobby needs the picture with all the, Today you can Photoshop in afterwards anyway. I said you can Photoshop clothes on her then. What's your problem? What's the big deal? If that's what you want. But they evoke this Kibbud of V'aim clause designed to make you destroy your child. I got news for you. In halacha, it has no place. Chayecha Koidman says you take care of your child first. If you're forced into that corner, then gently and respectfully, you reassure yourself that my priority is my child, even at the expense, as gently as you do it, of Kibbud of V'aim. That's Parshat, a psak halacha I received many, many times. That means we don't be achzarius, we can't be angry, we can't, you don't create a scene, you just share the facts. I'm so sorry we won't be there. It's all of us or none of us. And you need to make up your mind. And if you can't do it, we're fine. We respect that. We respect that. My child is my priority.
It's probably helpful to remember the alternative. You may show up at the wedding, your child will be forced to be in a way they don't want to be, but the result may be somebody cutting their wrist.
Yes, exactly.
Somebody overdosing.
Absolutely. The
So that's what we're
consequences are
dealing
horrendous.
with. We're not just dealing with, we're dealing with pikuach nefesh.
Yes, that's exactly right. We are dealing with pikuach nefesh. And therefore we side with our child. Always. Under any and all circumstances. Especially when it comes to shame and embarrassment, and we say, so I won't come, it's fine. And that includes Hanukkah parties. That includes where no one officially is allowed to talk about the fact that her uncle molested her. And no one's allowed to say this, because he's been struggling his whole life, and now he's sort of getting it together, and we don't want to destabilize him. We don't mind if your daughter is in a psychiatric unit. That we're okay with. But we don't want to destabilize him. I don't want to get into the lomdas and the inequity of it all.
But there is a woman that her father molested her for years. She doesn't go visit. She can't. And her sisters tell her, Kibbud Av. You're killing mommy and tati by not showing up like the rest of the family. What would be your response to this?
My response would be, sure. Please go to mommy and tati and tell them as soon as tati makes amends for what he did, we'll be happy to come. Let him make amends first. Let him make amends. But until he make amends, no, sorry. Sorry.
So just to clarify, the concept that Kibbud of V'aim comes at the expense of your health and your children's health is a very corrupt concept, isn't it?
Well, when you say, yes, it is. I mean, but often clearly. I mean, if you say to me that my health, I don't want this to be misunderstood. If my health temporarily, I find it difficult because my parents want me to come and move a cabinet for them, a closet to another room, which they can, and it's a bit strenuous, I go do it.
Right.
But what we're saying is like this. If I'm putting myself or my child into a sophic pikuach nefesh, which you would be if you're going to force your child to dress properly, to go to the chasna, especially where they know they're not wanted or respected or loved, the reaction to that is Sofik Pikuach Nefesh. And in such case, you're Chayecha Kaidlim, and you're Potter from Kibbutz in that moment.